me
Any,
later.
anyway, um, then but you've got a healthy Cam Akers.
True.
You've got Tutu Atwell, who went off in training camp, who hopefully could get more playing time with only
He's gonna be
having
a kick returner.
Van, A Rob, and Cup. So you're hoping that Tutu can get higher. Well, V, if they drafted him as a second round pick, they're going to want him to do more than just kick return. You would think.
Yeah, but to be fair, Van Jefferson and Allen Robinson weren't there yet. Like, it's those guys.
Yeah, but they had Obadell and Robert Woods. So,
No, that wasn't there yet either.
but I
Just Robert Woods.
think you can look at the Rams and say it's not a horrible take to say that they could repeat.
I don't think it's a horrible
No,
take at all, but it's not one I would make.
I think
See where
teams
you're
have gotten
coming
much
from.
better
You're
than
definitely
them, though.
justified.
All right. So, are we going 1-1-1 or are we saying all of ours and then
We should probably go 1-1-1 so I can get time to brainstorm a couple.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go next.
Um.
Unless Valente, you want to go?
Nope. I
Okay,
still don't got
okay.
nothing.
Okay, so obviously Cass follows my TikTok, so he might have already seen me make this take. But I did a series where it was like hot takes that get progressively hotter, and it was a goofy little trend, but I wanted to hop on it because I needed content. And my 100% take was that Kyle Juszczyk is a top 20 most valuable skill position player. So not counting offensive linemen or quarterbacks, he's a top 20 most valuable player. And I think the
Are you
fact that he
talking
can do
about particularly to the San Francisco 49ers?
I mean, yeah, the way he works in their scheme. I'm not saying like you put Kyle Juszczyk on any other team, he's gonna be a superstar. Well, I mean, even though I think he is, I think his value specifically to the Niners
I'll
puts
agree with
him
that.
high
I'll agree with
because
that.
their run game that Kyle Shanahan is known for, everyone obsesses over. It
Mm-hmm.
does not work without Kyle Juszczyk. He is the key to that. Because the way I was watching a video yesterday. The NFL just dropped their top 100, and Juszczyk was at like 97 or something.
Wait, they dropped it already?
Wait, what?
Maybe it was an older one. Somebody tagged me in a clip
Yeah,
of the NFL. Maybe it must have been an older one.
Because me and
I
Valente
was gonna
have
say
been.
I just seen something today that they're dropping it on
Okay.
the 14th.
Oh, then
Yeah.
it must have been an older one. But either way, they were showing like highlights of Juszczyk, obviously, and there was this one play, and it was so beautiful. Like as a fullback appreciator, it was like football porn, for lack of better words. He came across in motion, took the handoff, cut on a dime and turned back the other way and threw a lead block. And they cut back to show like the defense's reaction. And I can't remember who they were playing against, but the Mike linebacker was on the other side of the goddamn field when the running back had already cut the edge. Like Kyle Juszczyk's impact as a receiver, as a runner, and primarily, obviously, as a blocker makes him a top 20 most valuable non-skill position player in the NFL. It's
I agree
absolutely
with
incredible what
this.
that man is able to do.
I agree with this like wholeheartedly, and I will give one reason. Not really why, but it just shows how good of a player he is. Do you guys remember? I think it was the game against Pittsburgh, like a couple of
He
years
threw
ago.
Minka Fitzpatrick.
He threw someone over his shoulder.
It was Minka.
Yeah,
Threw
like
Minka.
that
It
was
was incredible.
insane. Over his fucking shoulder. Like
But
you would have thought he was like
I agree with that, and
God.
I think you can even look at like what San Francisco's been able to do with a bunch of different backs, and put that into like being that he is valued in that system. Like, look what they've been able to do with Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, like a bunch of different guys.
Mitchell.
Trey
Yeah,
Mitchell,
Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, not I got Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell mixed up.
Yeah, like they've had a revolving door of running backs, yet Kyle Juszczyk has maintained his stay. He has been a constant part of that offense.
You
Fullbacks in the NFL have a shorter shelf life than running backs, right? Like we talk about running backs, how they're getting 7, 8, maybe 9 years out of them nowadays, and then the great ones last a decade. Fullbacks last like 4 or 5 at most. Juszczyk's been in the league since 2013 and has arguably been the best running back or the best fullback in football since 2015, 2016. That's insane. Like I get it, it's a fullback, But if you watch Kyle Juszczyk, if you know what he's capable of doing, you understand not only how important he is to the 49ers, but just how talented that man is. He's absolutely incredible.
Arguably, you could put to the fact that he could play a different position. It's just that's where
he could easily be the team's lead back or their number one tight end, without a doubt. He's a little undersized, but if you wanted to get funky and make him put on weight, he could play guard. He wouldn't play over Kittle. I'm not saying
that's what I was about. I was about to say.
No, but like they wouldn't have drafted Kittle if Juszczyk was already their tight end. That's kind of what I meant by that.
Hey. I've seen it rumored that if San Francisco didn't draft Kittle, Tennessee would have drafted him to back up Delaney. Yo, cuz I would have been fine with that.
I don't think he would be a better tight end than Kittle, but he would have been the starter, and Kittle wouldn't have been someone the Niners would have been looking at.
But
I mean,
no, because they didn't draft Kittle to start. I might be wrong, but they took him late, right?
Yeah, you're right. So he would have been the starter at first, and then he would still be their number 2 tight end. We'll put it that way then. Or if they didn't have Kittle, if Kittle just wasn't in the picture for whatever reason, they would be fine. Put it that way.
All right, Valente,
Again, you're getting into hypotheticals there, but
yeah, I do get one.
Okay, go ahead.
I think Najee Harris will be the leading rusher next year.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Why are we giving Pittsburgh so much love? Last year,
Pittsburgh. I love Najee.
No, because my next one's Pittsburgh.
Najee does.
My next one's Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh doesn't deserve any love. Their fan base they're a bunch of sacks of shit. But Najee Harris is that dude, and he deserves every bit of credit he gets.
The team needs respect, though.
No, team doesn't need respect. The Steelers.
What do you mean? Mitch needs respect.
Mitch sucks. As a Bears fan, Mitchell Trubisky is a god-awful quarterback, and any Pittsburgh fan lying to themselves right now to believe that he is your starter, that he is a competent starter, you are gaslighting yourself into heartbreak and failure. I did it for 4 years. It's not fun. Get out while you can. It wasn't a Matt Nagy problem. It was a Mitch can't hit an open receiver 5 yards down the field problem. It was a Mitch can't process the defense problem. It was a Mitch can't handle pressure problem. It was a Mitch can't throw the ball to the left side of the field, period problem. Mitch sucked. There's a reason Chicago didn't pick up his 5th-year option. There was a reason he got benched for Nick Foles. I love Mitch Trubisky. I'm one of Mitch Trubisky's biggest fans, but he's not a good quarterback. I would love to be proven wrong. I've said this all offseason. I want to be proven wrong desperately because I love the man. I want nothing more than him to succeed. But from what we've seen out of the 4 years of play he's given us, even the couple plays he played in Buffalo where he did not look impressive, he sucks. He's not a starting caliber quarterback.
David, I'm gonna clip that where you were going off on Mitchell Trubisky. I'm gonna send it to you because if you want to post that would be perfect for your TikTok. That'd be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, do that for me. I would appreciate that. Listen, I love Mitch. Not good.
Tag it as like Vietnam flashbacks.
I mean that just kind of proves the take even more because there's still no clear-cut starter in Pittsburgh, and hell, Mason Rudolph's in that conversation as well.
Yeah, they said that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna have a quarterback that's not Kenny Pickett, you're gonna run a lot more, and that offensive line is built for running.
If Mason
Rudolph the offensive line as well.
If Mason Rudolph wins that job, if I'm not wrong, didn't one of the guys? Oh no, he plays defensive tackle. What am I talking about? I'm stupid. One of the guys that was in the Brown situation with Myles Garrett, they signed him. Pittsburgh signed him. I forgot who it was. I think it was Larry
Ogunjobi.
Yeah, they signed him.
Yeah, he was going to be a Chicago Bear, and then he failed his physical, so we didn't have to pay him $40 million, and Pittsburgh got him for like $6 million.
Are you salty about that, or?
I would have liked Ogunjobi, but I mean, if he's not healthy, he's not healthy.
Isn't he the one that got hurt for the Bengals last year in the playoffs?
Yeah. And he stepped out, and their defensive line was perfectly fine. But I definitely would have liked Ogunjobi over what we have at our interior line right now, but I'm not too upset about it. We saved a lot of money not dealing with him, so.
What do you think about the take that Darnell should be rated higher because he has similar stats to guys like Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf.
I already told you I'm not a stats guy. Darnell is not on this. Listen, made a TikTok about this. This is my take on Darnell Mooney and Terry McLaurin since people want to make it an argument. Terry McLaurin is Darnell Mooney's ceiling. Terry McLaurin is what we are praying Darnell can be. Not what he is right now, what he can be. Because Darnell's not even a proven number one receiver yet. I love him.
I think he can be, Terry.
I absolutely think he can be. He's not there yet. There is no comparison between the two ball players. Terry does everything better. I don't care what the stats said. Terry McLaurin had Taylor Heineke throwing him the football last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Yep.
Darnell is not near as good as him. And with DK Metcalf, no, he's not good as good as DK either. He's just not there. I love Darnell.
DK. Wait, you said DK?
Yeah,
No. Wait. Did you mention DK in that list of people? That
yeah,
comparing him Darnell
Terry
to?
McLaurin and DK Metcalf, right? Or did I mishear you?
No, I was saying that people are saying that Darnell and DK have similar statistics.
No, I don't care about the numbers. Darnell's not him.
No,
He's
because
not.
the reason, and I know this might be just getting you to repeat yourself. I saw the TikTok where you were talking about it, and I wanted to see you like kind of talk more about the situation.
Yeah, like I said, it's just summed up in the fact that Terry is Darnell's ceiling. If Mooney can be what McLaurin is right now, thank the Lord we have a number one wide receiver in Chicago. If not, cool, we have a high end number two wide receiver in Chicago.
Before we get to my next take, I actually have two Chicago Bears affiliated questions for you.
Okay.
Do you think? Oh, one's a Washington Commanders one because of the Terry McLaurin. Do you think
Okay.
that Terry will have his best season because he has his best quarterback throwing him the ball?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
Not a
one.
doubt. I think Terry's a stud. I made my top 10 receivers list. I actually got to put it out after we finish up here. But it was really hard not putting Terry in the top 10. I was really
Did you put
fighting
AJ in
myself.
the top 10?
Yes.
Terry McLaurin is better than AJ Brown. I was saying that when he was a Titan.
I don't know. I'm not fully convinced of that. Love
Okay.
Terry, but
It's the
after the
fact
catch thing that gets me with AJ.
I understand. It's the Terry has not had any form, and I'm not saying that AJ has outstanding problems, like not like with the media or anything, but injury wise, he has had some issues. Terry doesn't have that.
Yeah, I
Like
get that, but I mean, if it's minimal issues, if we're not talking about like Christian McCaffrey getting knocked out every single year, I'm not going to let injuries be the factor in deciding who's the better ball player.
I just think it's hard to put guys like even there was four
Can
there
I
was
inject into that?
there
Because
was
I
Michael
want to
Thomas,
say
aren't
something
you?
before I lose it. Yep, I just gotta know. I gotta know if Michael Thomas ranked on that top 10 list
I
because you
didn't.
said the injuries
I
shouldn't matter.
purposefully left him out because I don't know where to rank him right now. I want to see him play football again before I put him anywhere.
my
It's not
thing.
that I don't think he's top 10. It's just that I went out of my way to say, nope, he's not in here. I'm not even taking him into consideration. When he's on the
Because he
field,
hasn't played.
yes, only because he hasn't played. Nothing to do with his talent, just because he hasn't played. I did the same thing with CMC for my running back list. I did the same thing for Deshaun Watson with my quarterback list, just because we haven't seen them play
Respect.
consistently in the past year.
Okay, I was gonna ask you about that, and that got lost on me. If you have to talk about like D Watt when he finally plays or anything, are you gonna like try to be unbiased? Because that's what I'm gonna try to do.
If he's a good ball player, he's a good ball player. I mean, I've had to speak positive. Like, I just made TikToks about Kareem Hunt asking for a trade. I did my best. I mean, I did make a comment saying that if this results in Hunt sitting out and ruining his career, I'm all for it. But he's a damn good back. Like that's the hard part about this. That's kind of why I'm really hoping that Watson gets suspended and doesn't play, because I don't want to have to. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to praise him, but if I have to, I will. But if I do praise him, I will follow it up with, even though he's a piece of shit. So
Genuinely, I've seen people say that if D Watt plays, that he's gonna win MVP this year with Cleveland. I've seen
I
people
don't think
say
that's
that.
Bro,
ridiculous. If he plays
no.
the full season, I don't think that's a crazy take.
He's not playing a full season anyway, so we can just
Right.
throw that out the window.
Yeah. I mean, if he had the 6-game suspension, there's no reason you should be saying that. But if some crazy
No,
fucking
no,
backwards
because this.
voodoo world he played in week 1, I could see it.
Oh, that's crazy because I just watched Princess and the Frog and you're talking about voodoo. It's weird, bro. It's weird. Okay, but we'll get to mine. We're at my second one. Pat Fryermuth can be a top 5 to 10 tight end in 2022.
I wouldn't say top 5, but top 10 I can see.
The reason is because the quarterback situation is such an unknown there. It's been proven that quarterbacks that are not completely like with their situation use tight ends as security blankets. And he had a really good rookie season, in my opinion. He had like 700 yards and 7 TDs. Secretly, he
Well.
was a really good. Um, so I think we could see him kind of go over 1,000 yards. I don't think that's too terrible to say.
No, it all depends on who's the quarterback and whatnot. And how the other receivers play. Like George Pickens has been balling out in camp, so I don't know how that's
NFL
gonna
young
go.
boy.
I want Pickens to fail so bad.
I know. I don't. I can't say I don't like people like that because there's literally one on my team. So
Yeah,
It's not
Chancey.
even because of that. It's just because Chicago passed on him. I'm glad they passed on him, but I don't want to be listening to it 5-10 years down the line.
Bro, if George Pickens went to Chicago with Chirac and everything, yo.
oh my god, bro, you don't understand. No, you don't understand. George Pickens, if he was in Chicago, he would not make it to preseason. He would
No, because
die before training camp starts.
Cuz would have said something like in the media or social media that would have made somebody mad, and then
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Pickens, I was a Pickens guy before the draft. I like his talent a lot, but
it's
with
the
those kind
off
of
the
red
field.
flags, yeah, it's a first-year regime, first-year GM. He can't afford to take a risk like that.
Hopefully
Like
Tomlin,
Pittsburgh, he got drafted by Pittsburgh because their GM was out the fucking door. He was like, "Listen, I'll make this pick. Y'all deal with him. It's your problem now.
but
It is not mine."
to be
But he
fair,
is also going to Tomlin. Yeah.
if there's any coach that can I would like to see your opinion on top 10 coaches cuz I would like to see
Ooh,
I would like to see where you put Vrabel cuz
Vrabel's top 10. He's absolutely top 10. Um,
I think if you're talking about the new era of young coaches, and I know he's not young, but like era of
newer coaches, yeah.
newer coaches, I think
he's one of the younger of the coaches, the head coaches. I think. Isn't he
um
like one of the younger head coaches? I
I
mean,
don't know
because
because
head coaches aren't very
he
young.
he coached a long time in Houston, so I don't know for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, I don't know who I would say my top 10 coaches are off the top of my head, but I would say Vrabel's one of those guys that's just outside of the top 5.
I was
And
mad, and I know it's kind of like a stupid take now. I was mad when they fired Malarkey because we had just made the playoffs for like the first time in like 3-4 years. I was mad because I was a younger fan that didn't know like that our team was just so stacked that we shouldn't
yeah,
have not made the playoffs. Like the only problem we had that year that we didn't make the Super Bowl was Marcus Mariota shat the bed in Gillette Stadium in
yeah,
against Tom Brady. We had an 8 interception Kevin Byard. We had a lockdown defensive core that was called they even still wear the shirts. It was like my man catch no balls. MMCMB, and it was called like my man catch no balls cuz like we legit weren't letting nothing up. It was a no-fly zone. And but we had to have I actually looking at that, I might make a video about that. If you put Ryan on that team, they might win the Super Bowl because that that team was so stacked. But anyway, let's go, David. You're the next.
all right. I'll give you, since we're talking tight ends, I'll give you my tight end hot take. Who has a better chance of becoming a top 5 to 10 tight end than Pat Fryermuth, in my opinion?
Who?
Cole Kmet.
What?
I will die on this hill.
Yeah.
Oh, listen,
I think Cole
like you
Kmet might be
said,
one of the best receivers on that team.
first of all, exactly, he's the second best receiver on the team. Put it
Who's
that way.
first?
Like Mooney. Mooney's still better.
Oh, okay.
Mooney's
Okay.
he's wide receiver 1, but he hasn't proven to be like a legitimate wide receiver 1, right? So we're kind of going into this year with a wide receiver 2, potentially wide receiver 1 is your number 1. You have a young quarterback in a new system that is entirely based around the Kyle Shanahan offense, which heavily utilizes George Kittle, who is what? A big, bruising tight end that you throw the ball too short most of the time, let him work, and he can be a deep threat at times. Cole Kmet, last year, at least to me, I know a lot of people don't like Kmet, but to me, he proved that he is a tight end that's going to do really well in the short game. You get him the ball quick, or you can hit him downfield. There were a lot of deep throws, crossing routes where Kmet was actually like he gets shit for not creating separation. He created nice separation and made some nice plays. If Getsy, our new offensive coordinator, believes in Kmet, which I'm fully under the impression that he does, because Kmet has been fucking balling in camp, like to the point where Eddie Jackson is now Cole Kmet's son in my eyes. He has completely bitched Eddie Jackson all of camp.
That is the most overrated NFL player I've ever seen in my
I'm
life.
fully aware I hate Eddie Jackson with every fiber of my being. I will
Cut.
preach to the day I die that he is horrid. But my point is, he is bitching somebody that people look at as a top 15 safety consistently in camp. He's going into an offense that's going to be catered to allowing him to get the ball short and create, or they can send him downfield and play action and let Justin hit him. Him and Fields are building chemistry. I really think Cole Kmet is going to have a huge year. And I think the reason I give it to him more than Fryermuth is because he's going to have more opportunities than Fryermuth. Like I said, he's the second best receiver on that team. Fryermuth is maybe the third best receiver on Pittsburgh.
I can
Maybe.
see that. I can see that.
Fourth, sorry, I forgot Chase Claypool for a second. He's the fourth best receiver. Kmet's the second. Kmet also had 700 yards last year, maybe 800. Like he sneakily had a very productive season. He didn't score the ball a lot because Matt Nagy offense, but having that many yards in that offense that if you watch it, you know is very non-tight end friendly. I really think Cole Kmet has the talent and the potential to be a stud. I'm not saying he's going to be George Kittle, but he projects very similarly to George Kittle. And if we can use him similarly to the way Kyle Shanahan uses George Kittle, because Kmet is also a fantastic blocker. I forgot to make that known. There were games last year, granted our offensive line sucked, that Kmet was the best pass blocker on the team. I really think Kmet can be an absolute stud. Him and Fields are going to develop chemistry quickly. He's going to be that safety blanket, just like you mentioned. He's going to have a very productive year as our second leading receiver, which he was last year as well.
Before we get into Valente's next hot take, because I'm very much getting that vibe. Were you a guy that like in high school with a bunch of like the other guys that played football and stuff that you would talk to a lot about like the NFL and stuff? That was like
That was me in middle school. Because in high school, I realized very quickly that a lot of the guys I was friends with that played football were kind of dicks and not good people. So I separated myself from them like my sophomore year. And I don't know if you know this, I talk about it on my TikTok quite often. I was a theater kid. So
uh,
I was,
I'm a choir state champion. I don't.
yeah, I did choir, I did theater. I was in the show choir, so I had to do a little bit of dancing as well with my singing. Like
Bro
I
got
did
it.
that stuff. I
Bro
was
got
away
his.
from the
Bro got
I
his
was away
glee on.
I did. Unironically, I did. I was like the vice president of drama club my senior year. So,
Oh
but
shit,
Have you
we got
have
an
you ever
actor in here.
have you ever
I'm
seen
not.
this show? I don't want to sound like stupid and just talking about.
I haven't actually. I haven't watched Glee. I've heard it's horrid, so I haven't watched it. Um, but
First three
yeah, I mean,
seasons. First three seasons aren't bad. The third, the fourth, fifth, and sixth they're terrible. It's
gotcha. But yeah, I mean, I did talk a good bit of football in high school. It just wasn't with like the football kids, so to speak. I got away from them very quickly. But in high school, we also, instead of doing normal morning announcements, we did like a news broadcast type thing, and I did the
Yeah,
daily
my squad
sport.
is up.
Yeah, I talked about the sports on there every day, so I talked a lot of sports on there, and I went on a lot of anti Matt Nagy, anti Pittsburgh Steelers rants because I live in Maryland and all the people around me are Steelers fans, so I wanted to ruffle as many feathers as possible. I, uh, I'll put it this way: my school looked at me the way people look at Skip Bayless in terms of
Oh,
controversy and pissing people
so,
off.
but you don't
So
get paid for it though. Did you get paid?
no.
no, I did not get paid. I mean, I got paid in
Oh,
experience. I
all
want
you
to do
got was
broadcasting as a
pissed off
career,
people.
so. Yeah, I got
Yeah, you
teachers
got
coming up
pissed
to
off
me
people, not a
randomly
single
and being
dime
like,
out of it.
"Hey, you are wrong," and I'll be like, "Okay," because uh, let me tell another story real quick, not to get too off topic, but our football coach hated my guts. He hated me because I played football in the 8th grade, and he taught middle school at the time and then moved up to high school when I moved to the ninth grade. I quit football to do more choir because I didn't want to go play for him because I was told he was a dick. And because of that, he developed a hatred for me. And as I got, went through school, I started doing the sports broadcasting thing for the announcements my junior year. Whenever the sports segment would come on the morning announcements, he would turn his TV off and wouldn't let his class watch it because he didn't want to listen to me talk. Which I think is the pettiest shit in the world. He didn't want to listen to a 16-year-old talk about his football team because he didn't like me. Because on top of the reason I found out he didn't like me before that too was because my freshman year I had him as my math teacher, and me and him would get like right in the face screaming at each other over sports. Like, this is one of my proudest moments. We did a mock draft, and that was 2018, the year the Bears took Roquan Smith, 8th overall. And that was my dream pick for Chicago. I wanted Chicago to take Roquan Smith. He said, all right, who do you think they're going to take? And I said, I want Roquan Smith. And he looked at me and laughed, and he said, with Tremaine Edmonds on the board?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, with him on the board. And who was right? Who is a top 5 linebacker, and who is the most replaceable linebacker in all of football?
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm getting the two confused. Is Tremaine the linebacker for the Steelers?
He's the Buffalo linebacker.
Okay,
Terrell is the safety in Pittsburgh.
okay.
I get him confused all the time too. No, whichever one it is, the linebacker in Buffalo is the one he laughed at me for not wanting over Roquan Smith. So either way, we're talking a top 5 linebacker versus a guy who you don't extend. You don't give a second contract.
I'm not even gonna lie. I live in the deep south, so I got garbaged on when I stopped playing football to join like choir and do more like creative, like artistic stuff.
I didn't see a future with playing football. I didn't want, like, my dad, he played football out through high school. His knees are really bad. He gets really bad migraines from it. And I didn't want to deal with all that. I did what I wanted to do because all my friends were theater kids. And I got so much shit for it.
I told Valente this. Looking back, the reason I stopped playing is because, like, I had this like really gruesome arm injury, and I don't even know. I probably should say it because views, but a helmet went like this with my elbow in the middle, and like I wore a sling for like weeks, and like after that I was like, this probably isn't for me. I tried out the next year, and like made the team, and I was like midway through the tryout, I was like, I'm not gonna play, but I'm gonna keep this tryout going because I don't quit stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's how I work too.
And it even
do you know who Anthony Jennings is?
For
Anthony Jennings, I do not.
He's the defensive end for the New England Patriots.
Okay. Yeah, he was. I think he was a linebacker for Alabama too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a 4-star linebacker for Alabama. He played on the same line as him.
Yeah, I did.
His freshman year.
It's cool.
Yeah.
The only kid out of my high school, we had one kid that played football. He went for baseball and then got cut and quit, and now he's just kind of doing whatever. So my school didn't have anybody.
We have
you guys know Ty Johnson for the New York Jets?
Yeah.
He went to my high school's rival high school a few years before I got there. So my co-host knows him personally, and my cousin sells him cars all the time, so he knows him personally as well.
A little fun fact about like where I'm from and stuff. T.O.'s from where I'm from, Terrell Owens.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. I've never personally met him or anything, but I get conflicting stuff all the time. People say he's a really nice guy, and then other people say he's a dick. So.
My school's most notable alumni are William H. Macy, the actor from Shameless.
Wait, the dad? The dad?
Yeah.
Frank,
yeah.
Oh god, that's such.
And then Eddie Deason, who was in Glee, he played not in Glee. I'm sorry, in Grease. He was in Grease. He played the dorky band kid in Grease.
Dang, y'all have two actors.
Yeah, Eddie Deason's in a lot of trouble right now, though. He was caught like doing perverted shit, so he got arrested, and then they deemed him not mentally well enough to stand trial, so they're admitting him to a mental hospital.
No, but William H. Macy, he's like one of my favorite actors
He's a
because of
stud.
Shameless.
He's awesome.
There's some stuff in Shameless that he did that, like, if that was real life, dude would have went to jail.
Yeah, because
Because if I'm not wrong, in Shameless, he ends up having one of the episodes he has sex with like a 16, 17-year-old. It's
I wouldn't be
crazy.
surprised. I haven't seen the whole show.
It's
The
actually
most famous guy from my high school is Derek Anderson. He was the 13th overall pick in the 1997 NBA draft.
That's cool.
He won a championship, and other than that, he hadn't done shit.
but
He won a championship on the same team as LeBron James. I think in 2006.
you got
Damn.
your, but yeah,
Derek Anderson is his name.
but yeah. Besides that, we've got my high school coach. He's in the Alabama High School Hall of Fame. I told you that
That's
during
cool.
the Titans thing because we
You
started
did tell
talking.
me that.
Yeah, but he was a dick. That was another reason I didn't want to play. But I think this is the thing, though. I think to be a coach that's like been around for a long time and to be really good, you kind of have to be a dick.
There's a difference between being a dick and being strict to be respected, so to speak. Like when you're an older coach, you're gonna put up with less shit. We'll put it that way. Like the coach I dealt with just had a massive ego. He was extremely arrogant. If you didn't play for his football team, he didn't really give a shit about you. And
That
he thought he was like the messiah. He thought he was some sort of great motivational speaker. Like we had a class
That
one
team went
day.
3-7, by the way.
what?
He
I
say that
said I
again.
bet that team went 3-7. By the way,
That team.
like and like your coach's team, like your high
Oh
school
yeah,
team,
no,
probably
they're
went like
awful.
three and
They're
seven.
awful.
Yeah,
We're
I
starting a
kind of
freshman
figured.
quarterback last year. Like they suck. He's one of the
Oh
worst coaches
God.
I've ever seen. Yeah. I will say that the quarterback's name was Brody, so he gets a pass.
Oh, he's
But
probably high all the time.
no, but we had a class one day where he completely canceled work, sit and lecture us for 45 minutes about juuling because he had this very convoluted story that basically ends with guy I went to high school with overdosed on heroin, and he spoke like he was some sort of licensed public speaker that knew exactly how the world worked and knew exactly what needed to be said in order to stray us away from the devil's pen and whatnot. He was just very full of himself, very full of himself, and I don't like people like that. So I didn't want to
Um,
play for him.
um, where you are, like I don't know. A lot of people, like I know it's like this here, and you're from Maryland, which is kind of still considered
Mhm.
the South. So
Yeah.
I know here that if you like, if you're at least if you're a male and you go and do like something that would be considered more artistic, like people garbage on you for it. So I don't I don't know if you experienced any of
I
that, but
didn't get that. That was a fear my parents had because I did choir in middle school, and I won't lie, I joined it because there was a girl in it that I liked, and then I like actually started to fall in love with it. And I wanted to do it again in high school, and I actually didn't get to do it my freshman year because my parents were like, "Let's hold off a year," because they were worried that I was going to get bullied and stuff for it. And then I got back into it my sophomore year because I was basically pulled back into it by two of my friends, and I thank them every day for that because of if they wouldn't have done it, I probably wouldn't have joined again.
it's
But my
it's funny that you even say that because the whole reason that one of my biggest friends now, his name's Grayson, one of the only reasons he joined is because his girlfriend was in it already, and he joined, and then they had a bad breakup, and then he met me, and like I was the only person he was cool with, and everybody else in this group besides me and him were chicks. So we
right.
were like, we had if he would have left, we would have been screwed. We had no more, choir. We have no male vocals. You're screwed. Like you can't
My
do
school was
anything.
very
Well,
blessed. We had
one of the
wonderful
chicks there,
men's
by the way.
sections.
What
What is
me?
it?
Not me. I said you tried to hook me and Dakota was one of your
Oh
choir
yeah, I
people.
tried to hook because one of my friends I went to school with that was in a grade younger than me, she was like real like she was like the depressed type that needed somebody to be there for her. So I tried to yeah. But
Yeah,
anyway,
My
Go
school
ahead.
was very lucky. We had wonderful men's sections my 4 years there, or my 3 years, I guess, doing choir. But the year before I was there, it was a great group as well. Um, no, my school, like our biggest asset, so to speak, is our band. Like our band goes to state, national tournaments and places very high.
I
So
would agree with that for my school too.
yeah, my school wasn't like they didn't frown upon the theater and the arts and whatnot, thankfully. And our theater group was fantastic. Like my sophomore year, the first show we did was Hairspray, and we sold out every single night with like critics coming from outside of the county to come watch it and report on it for their papers to bring people in. And then my junior year, we were supposed to get the same type of outcome, but unfortunately the show got canceled due to COVID, which really pissed me off because I was a lead in it and that was the only lead I've ever had. And it was an awesome lead because I was an old drunk fat dude that stumbled around the stage the whole time. And then I sang a song that sounded like it was straight out of the Mortal Kombat theme, which was fucking dope. Like it
Get
was
But
over
such a cool
here.
show. I
no,
mean, literally, it had like the '90s retro arcade vibe in it, and it was a fight song. I was like hyping up two people to fight in it. It was awesome, but it
it's
got
in
canceled because of COVID.
um and actually in this video I'll put because I'm about to get into something really deep, but I'll put the hotline for like depression in the description because I'm about to get into something really deep. But
Before you do this, I just want to go back on something David said earlier. I just stubbed my toe. I did not feel shit. I think I'm just now realizing that I stubbed my toe because of how far my foot is into my table right now.
Yo, bro's got a superpower. Bro can grab his foot and just smack people with it, and it'd be alright.
It's like
Y'all ever
Joe
seen them
Swanson
fucking
on
puppets
Family Guy.
swing their legs? That's literally my fucking leg right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I could probably send you a picture. Like my foot is completely jammed into my table right now.
Look,
I don't want foot pics from minors. I'll pass on that.
oh yeah,
I'm wearing
bro.
socks, bro. Relax.
I was gonna say he doesn't give them out for free, especially not with the disabled foot.
Nah, bro, that's OnlyFans content right there.
Yeah.
I sell for feet pics.
I selfie pics. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Why do we do this? We go from Logan Woodside and Mike Vrabel having sex to Tim Tebow and Urban Meyer having sex to now we're talking about foot pics.
Yeah.
Like what?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you did not mention Logan Woodside and Mike Vrabel fucking and Tim
Yes, we
Tebow and
did.
Urban
Yes,
Meyer
we did.
fucking.
Yes, we did.
When we did the Jaguars podcast, we absolutely went on a rant about Urban Meyer and Tebow. Did we talk about Woodside and Vrabel as well?
Yes, because we said
Okay.
I
Vrabel.
know the Woodside
We
and
said
Vrabel in that podcast.
we said that Logan Woodside must have something on Mike Vrabel to still have a job.
His daughter. His
Okay.
daughter.
It might have been something. We said something. I
I was gonna say I
forgot.
don't think we said it might have been his wife. I don't think we said his him specifically.
That would have
But
been
with Urban
crazy.
and Tebow,
That would have
Urban
been
and
crazy
Tebow,
if
we went off.
that would have been crazy if we said his wife before the Zach Wilson stuff came out. That would have been.
Yeah.
But
Logan
anyway,
Woodside is Zach Wilson, but like
Logan
what, 7
Woodside is
years
Zach
later?
Wilson's dad, bro. He looks like he's 50. It's crazy. But
Mhm.
anyway, what I'm about to get like real into is like when after my first year of choir, it was legit probably I don't know because I've had some good years recently. But up to that point, I really wasn't like in a good place emotionally, and that was the first year that my mom stopped being so like gruesome about like because I used to live with my mom and dad, and we would fluctuate because they're not together anymore. And that was the first year she was like, "You can go live with your dad. I'm not going to bother you anymore." And it was like it was my 11th grade. No. Was it? No, yeah, it was my 11th grade year. We go, and I see on my schedule. This is my first year without having to go to my mom and dad my mom's every weekend or my dad's every weekend when I was living with my mom. It was the first time I was actually able to be in one place weekend, weekdays, everything, and I just go see my mom when I wanted to. Anyway, but I got my schedule and on the thing it said all my normal classes and then it said choir and it said Zach Smith, which was a and I'll uh and I'm the reason I name dropped him is because he's so important like into the growth of me as a character and as a development. And I know we're talking about TV shows, but character development. But he was a 21-year-old. He was signed fresh out of high school. He had 3 years as a music teacher, like his music education in high school. He was signed immediately out of not signed, but not
I was gonna
like
say, you said signed out of high school. It sounded like he was a prospect.
bro's top tier teaching prospect.
He's a 5-star teaching prospect out of where, Tennessee?
I'm from Alabama.
Alabama. Okay,
Yeah,
my bad.
yeah. We don't have a football team, and I'm not gonna root for the Dirty Birds. So
Right, fair.
everybody around me is an Atlanta fan, and I'm just like, why would you do that for yourself?
Yeah, that's just setting yourself up for
Now,
failure.
I was saying that before 28-3 too. Why would you do that to yourself? But anyway, that was probably the best year. I'm not gonna take too long talking about this because we're really doing a long podcast here. But um,
Oh, 2.5 hours.
yeah, I'm sorry, David.
2.5, 227. You're good. I told you I don't
Two
not doing anything
27? How do
tonight.
you know that? How do you
Because
know
it
that exact
says
number?
down here, Cast does everything started a call today at 10:03.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
10:03 for me, 9:03 for you guys.
Okay, so
No, it's 10:03 for me as well.
Oh, well then 9:03 for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I was getting, but that year of us like, and I call it a state championship, but it's kind of not. It was a thing. It was held at our state fair, and it was a competition where everybody from all around the state came, and it was the only thing that would be considered a state championship, like in sports, what we would consider a state championship, because it was the only competition that held people from all over the state, and we got a massive fucking trophy when we won, and it still sits in my school. And that's just the one achievement that I'm so proud of. I wish I had my class ring because I have on the class ring the symbol that's on the trophy. I had them embroil it on there because I'm that's probably my crowning achievement because
That's awesome.
our school doesn't have like a state championship or anything besides like the 70s and the 80s when my dad played football for the high school and he won like 2 state championships. So that's like all we have. So I think it's cool that like when you walk in, the 2 state championship trophies are like this, and then my choir trophy's in the middle, and they both say like my dad's name on the side, and then my name in the middle. I think that's sick. I
What
really,
voice part did you sing? Just out of
Charles got a
curiosity.
legacy.
I was I was the what they would typically give the part to the female. I forget what it's called because
Okay.
it's soprano, it's
Alto.
soprano, alto, and I believe it was alto
Okay.
because
You
there's
guys didn't have a full-on men's section. The men just sang a woman's voice
no
part.
there was 2 dudes. It was me
Right, right. So
Grayson.
they
and
didn't have you guys in your own
Grace.
section. You guys sang with the
This is
girls.
why I was getting to this. Grayson had every male part, so he had solo male parts,
Oh, okay.
and
Oh.
and
Da-da.
no, we didn't do songs like that. See, that's what you would think choir is like,
That's what
ha,
my choir was. I sung the deep parts. I was a bass. So
but
there were
that's what
like
it
Yeah.
is.
there were.
Bass, bass.
Oh, so you were a bass?
No, I was a alto, but Grayson was a bass, but
Okay, gotcha.
he was the
Yeah.
only bass.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reason I say we had 2 guys, we actually had 3, but one was added on way later, and he was a
Mm,
like special needs kid that just wanted to have
right.
to be in something. He didn't actually
We
like.
had a girl like that.
And he was so happy because he was one of the people holding up the trophies. I can't remember his name for the life of me, and that's actually like making me real mad with myself. But that was
But when we did choir, I was a bass my whole time. Like my voice part, I don't know how much you know about like musical theater, but like I'm a baritone, which is
uh-huh.
between a bass and a tenor.
Mhm.
But I sang bass in choir, and I can tell you right now, like you were talking about the ha 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 thing, there were songs where the basses would literally just have the bass, so it would be like, like for 3 minutes. It was that was one of my least favorite parts about choir, and I bring that up because I have a really funny story. We did this thing called All County, where all
Mhm.
of the schools in the county came together and they made up one big choir. The high
Mhm.
school kids would make up one choir, middle school would make up another. We'd do a concert, we'd all perform. And there was this one song where the men sang. It was like we'd hum and then go ba da and then hum again for 3 straight minutes. I shit you not, we were rehearsing and we just got done eating. We were doing that and I fell asleep. And in my sleep, I was doing it because I remember waking up and my choir teacher was like looking over at me, like trying to wake me up, but also laughing her ass off because I was still going. And she pulled me to the side and she was like, "Did you just close your eyes for a little bit?" And I said, "No, I was knocked out cold." She said, "Oh, well, you sang a 3-minute song in your sleep." And I don't know. That's just one of my favorite memories from choir
No, but
because
see
that's
that
how simple it was for me. That's how simple that song was that I literally could sing it in my sleep.
this is what I think.
I'm
This
sleeping in school.
I
Oh
just got
god.
done eating and I was like, "Oh God, I'm tired." And when you're singing the same thing over and over and over and over again, your
Kind
brain
of
is
singing
like,
yourself a lullaby.
"That's what I was doing."
Wait, hold up, hold up.
Felt like.
That story I was telling before. I'm gonna change something. I was in my 10th grade year because I just remembered something. My 10th grade year, we
Oh
wait, hold up.
shit.
No, no, fuck. It was my 11th grade year, but we split it into 2 semesters. So my
Okay.
first semester was when we went off to competition. The second semester was when we were going to go to a second competition that same semester. Because one was summer and one was fall. There were 2 competitions, and we had won the trophy for the summer one, and we were going to go because winning the trophy for the summer one automatically qualified you. Because for the summer one, you had to go to like 3 different events to qualify over time. Well,
Okay.
if you won in the summer, you automatically qualified for the fall. But COVID hit. We were supposed to go in March, and it genuinely tore me apart so much. And then our fucking board said that because we didn't go in fall and win again, that Mr. Smith had said that he had guaranteed them 2 trophies because they said there wasn't enough budget to go around. And Zach said, if you give me a year, I'll bring you some trophies, and then I'll give you a reason to give us more budget. And they wanted to call some bullshit saying that he promised them 2 trophies and only brought them one, so they cut the program.
That's so lame.
And we,
Look out, you Spencer James.
um, because I swear, bro, they need to make a TV show about that. That was really cool how but then they ended up giving us a thing called music appreciation. And I had Mr. Smith for our final 2 years. And I introduced so many different people into like that because the thing was they cut the choir program, but they signed him to a 4-year deal. Like I know it's once again talking about like NFL stuff, but like they signed him to a 4-year thing, so they had to
Yeah.
find something for him to do.
Four
He's
year, four
he's
year,
t-
$35,000 contract.
he's teaching at a JUCO college now because
Good
he
for
was
him.
yeah. It really makes me happy because we would make jokes because he grew up on the same stuff I did because I was an older senior, like I was an older kid, like I was 19 when I graduated. So,
Mm.
and I know that comes off very weird to people when I say that, but I
What
had
year did
some
you graduate?
2020.
So your junior year was the year COVID hit?
Wait, no, 2019.
Oh,
I mean 2011, 2011, 20. What the hell? 2011.
2021.
Fuck.
Oh my.
2021.
2021? Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
because my junior year COVID hit, and you mentioned earlier you were older than me, so I was slightly confused.
He got held back a year though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there it is. So he's a year old. Okay,
Yeah. So I was 19 when I graduated because I have a late birthday and I got held back a year. So
gotcha. Okay, I
I
was gonna say
graduated
because that
at 17 years old, which is fucking crazy.
is crazy. My buddy graduated on his 18th birthday. My
uh,
I
old
start
friend, I don't really
school
talk to him
on the
anymore.
10th, which is the day before my birthday. I'm going
th-
into my senior year at 16.
did they
Damn.
did they cause a bunch of like garbage about your graduation with COVID? Because they did that a lot for us.
No, the year before, so the class of 2020, they got shafted with they literally had a drive-through graduation. They had this little like glass case set up in front of the school
What the hell?
with the superintendent and the principal on either side, and you would drive your car up in your cap and gown, step
Take
into
a
the
thing.
glass case, take your picture, they'd hand you your diploma and you could leave. That was how they did it in 2020. 2021, we had to have
What?
it outside in the football stadium. We all had to wear masks. Everyone in the stands had to wear masks. It was like 105 degrees out, so we were all sweating our asses off. But we had a full graduation. I got to sing at that graduation, and I cried while singing the Star Spangled Banner.
So okay,
And the
did you get
Rockies red glare.
did you get a hello like emotional at your graduation? Because I did too.
Yes, I did because we. I'm sorry, I didn't cry singing the Star Spangled Banner. We sang a song, like it was some country song, but the one girl could play acoustic guitar, so she played guitar and we all sang, and I cried during that because halfway through, one of my best friends, who I've been very close with since the sixth grade, it was one of the people I mentioned earlier that like drug me back into theater. She looked over at me and just gave me a smile, and it broke me. And then the girl next to me, who was the other girl that drug me back into theater, she did the same thing. So I was sobbing, they were sobbing, everyone was sobbing. There's a picture, I'll have to find it and send it to you, of us all huddled together singing over a microphone, crying, like hugging. It was emotional. And then I did the same thing my last day of my senior year because my choir director, who, God, I had mixed feelings on that woman. Her name was Desiree Witt. She was very crazy, but also like a big influence in my life, like your choir director was. She made all the seniors stand up on a stage, and all the other kids were out in the audience. And she played "I Will Remember You" over the loudspeaker, and walked up to us one by one, gave us a speech she had prepared, hugged us, and then moved on. And I broke during that too. Like, she prepared an individual speech for each senior, talking about how she was proud of us and how we'd grown and all that kind of stuff. And it was something, because like under her I had a, like you said, a big character development day or situation, because I was
My
very much introverted, and I didn't come out of my shell often, and she was like, no, fuck that, you're going to be a person. I was like, okay. And I became an extroverted, borderline annoyance with how much I talk, as you can tell, because I'm still sitting here talking.
Noted. You're the energy right now.
but and I me and David's like kind of went off on a choir tangent. We've just left Valente here. I'm
Yeah,
sorry if
Hey,
I was.
we were
I'm
talking
fine
about
with it,
hot
bro.
takes, and now we're talking about choir.
I still got my hot take in my head, so
Yeah,
whenever y'all are ready, go for it.
Yeah, but we need to get into that. I don't want David sitting here all
But
night.
before
like I said,
before we
I'm
do
good,
that, and
man.
I'm sorry for this. Tell them about how your history teacher's a YouTuber.
Oh, I was gonna bring up Mr. Town, but I didn't want to. So when talking about like crying at graduation, Mr. Talton is I stand by this is the only reason I am currently enrolled in college because I performed so awfully on my ACT that it wasn't even discussable. I don't even want to say my score because people dogged on me at school when
I
everybody
would have
got their
done the
scores.
same thing. I didn't have to take the ACT because of COVID, but I probably would have done
I haven't
poorly
been
on it
taking
as
my
well.
ACT either.
But you do good on test Valente, so this ain't even fair,
No,
bro.
I don't. No, I don't.
You do better than me. I got like I
I've
got like a
never
not
heard your test scores,
I got
so
a 18, which and like what's common is like a 23, like 22,
out
23,
of 32.
24.
Oh,
Yeah, the average score, the highest score our school had was a 34, and that was by a
Oh,
guy that had been a guy that was in my grade, but he got moved up 2 grades anyway. So
he's at Harvard. No,
oh,
probably.
no,
damn.
he's not at Harvard. Who said that?
Me,
Valente.
I don't know. I was just saying.
No,
He's probably at Harvard now.
he went to Auburn, which is like five
Still
minutes
a
away
good
from me.
school.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes away from me.
Step
Not,
down for he could have been.
but
Could have been at Harvard.
that was my ideal school. But I had a I ended my see. It's funny, David. You'll know about this, but GPAs. I went into my 11th grade year with a 1.7.
Damn.
Okay, can I tell you? Can I tell you how you'll be kind of more like amazed by this? I finished with a 2.9. My last 2 years, I got a 2 point.
Solid jump. That's a
Yeah,
really solid jump.
like, and it was because of the like leaving my like not having to worry about moving to my mom's and all that. It was that.
Right.
It was
It's
that.
it's just an easier work environment, and you're not as stressed out and whatnot. I get it.
Yeah.
But when he handed me my letter of recommendation, and then because I didn't read it, but when I handed it to my college when I did my application and all that, because I did an application in person, which because I wanted to show that like I was willing to come in person and be like a genuine
Right.
person, because I felt like that would help with my case to get in, and it helped with my case to get in. So not only I got a choir scholarship because state championship, and that helped on my resume. I I'm guessing that helped because they gave me like it wasn't a lot of money, but they gave me a little bit. And
Right.
then um and it is a junior college. So it's
Hey,
not
college is college, man. It doesn't matter what the fucking logo is. The only thing that matters is the diploma.
but
Sure.
but I
Like, wait, sorry, not to interrupt you, but I just want to put this out there. People make such a big deal about what college they go to and what college they graduate. Everyone gets the same fucking piece of paper at the end. That's all that matters. Like I go to a D2 education school uh, to do broadcasting and mass communications. Like give but it's just because it's 20 minutes away. It doesn't matter what
that's the
school you
same
go
with
to.
me. It's like
Yeah,
15.
all my friends were making big deals about going to UN or the University of Maryland, the University of West Virginia. I don't give a shit. I'm not spending all that money. I'm not wasting all that time. I'm not doing that when I can stay at home and live 20 minutes away off campus. Like,
And what I'm gonna
pointless.
what after I say this, we'll get back into the football takes. Like I said, I think we've held you along,
Like
but
I said, I'm not doing anything, man. You're good. I like coming on podcasts. This is fun. I like talking to people.
it's a lot better than what me and Valente used to do. We used to do
Mm-hmm.
gaming videos and get shit on, like,
Yep.
like that's because that back in the day, that's how you tried to grow on YouTube. Was you do gaming videos?
I tried the Madden YouTuber thing at one point. It didn't last long, but I tried it.
No,
I
because
feel you.
what you end up doing is you end up uploading shit you don't care about, trying to get views, and then it.
Yep. You end up, looking to trend.
That's my thing. That's why, like, I understand these long podcasts aren't great for the algorithm or whatever. But I'm uploading genuine content when I upload my videos. I leave in all the lapses and the goofs and the jokes and the off-topic discussions and whatnot because it's real conversation. It's natural. It makes more sense.
And to be
I would
honest,
rather watch that than an hour of chopped up, like, almost corporate bullshit.
that's what a lot of people like to see. That's why podcasts have really blown up so much
Hmm.
recently. And like as much as I do like kind of clickbaity sometimes, like with the whole Derek was out for the preseason, like it wasn't like I was lying in the like thing or
Right.
anything, but um, well, I was losing my train of thought. What were we talking about?
You wanted to say one more thing before we went back to football.
Yeah, you're talking about your history teacher.
Okay, um, but like we got the letter of recommendation, so I went in person to hand it to him because I thought that would like set me out because I don't think like many people do that anymore with like emails and stuff. It's way easier. But oh no, that's not what I was gonna say. Fuck. Um. So I want to be a history teacher. That's my goal because
That's what I was gonna do too.
he put so much
I had the same impact. I had an awesome history teacher that made me want to be a history teacher too.
um. But he so my plan is like when I get through community college, I'm gonna do one of these online schools that are like actual universities, but they're online because
Mhm.
my dad doesn't have like really good health. I can't be far away
Right.
because like what me with me and my girlfriend being around, like we help him out a lot. So,
Right.
but yeah, but let's get back. Valente, you got your second take?
I just want to tell you real quick. Talking about awesome history teachers, I had one. His name was Mr. White, Brian White, and he was the guy who ran the morning announcements. So he was the one who showed me that I wanted to get into broadcasting. He was my history teacher for my last 2 years of high school because he taught two different types of histories and I took both. And I had the same experience where like he was a huge influence on me. He's actually someone I still talk to. Like I have his phone number. We talk because he's a big Star Wars fan. So we talk about Star Wars all the time. And I remember that was another thing that broke me because he was at our graduation and he was like one of the monitors. At the very end, I ran into him and he looked at me and this is going to sound very corny. If you're not into Star Wars, you might not understand, but he looked at me and he grabbed me by the shoulder and he called me his Padawan, said I completed the trials and that I was now a Jedi Master. And that was the corniest shit I've ever heard, but it made me fucking cry because of who it was coming from and what it meant. Because everyone called him Jedi Master White. That was like his nickname because he was absolutely obsessed with Star Wars. He had a life-size Yoda in his classroom and had all the figures up on one of the
Bro, it's
walls.
crazy how similar like a lot of the stuff we keep saying is like we're different people like physically, but like a lot of like the same scenarios.
The
are
same
similar.
person in different fonts, basically.
Yeah, and plus I'm fucking huge, but we're not even gonna talk about that.
I'm in the same boat, brother. Listen, you're not alone there either. I'm not very
Like,
tall, but I'm a big dude.
but
He's not tall either.
no, I'm like 6 foot. He swears
I'm
up and
shorter
down
than
I'm
that.
not. He
No,
swears
I'm
up.
he's not.
5'10".
No, he's not. I'm 5'6". I'm up to his forehead. I met him in Tennessee.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
we went to a Titans and Saints game together.
2019.
Yeah.
I met him in Tennessee. I'm 5'6", 5'5", 5'6". And I'm literally up to his fucking forehead. Now, maybe that means his forehead is just that big. Okay? I don't know. But
Brother in Christ, leave the man alone.
Bro, if I get this much hate, imagine Peyton, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine Peyton.
All right, hot
no,
takes.
Pitting's forehead's a whole
Oh yeah.
whiteboard.
Let's get into hot takes. Go
Valente,
into it.
hot take.
All right. So I had two, but I think I'm gonna go with this one because either of them really shouldn't be hot takes, but you know, it shouldn't be. I mean, it's a hot take, but I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm not glad that this is a hot take. I think JJ Watt's gonna play his first full season, but he's gonna be on two different teams,
Ooh.
and he's gonna get 10 plus sacks this year.
That's interesting. I like it.
Okay.
I think he's gonna get traded mid-year.
I could see that
Any,
if
any
Arizona's
idea
starting
as to who?
No, but I just have the idea that he's gonna play
I could see
an
it.
entire season.
I could
And I feel
definitely see
like,
it if Arizona starts shitting the bed. Like if they're not
yeah, I
like
feel like
if they're
I
not
think
like
that's very likely.
I'll go with my last one. The see I have two, but I'll go with one. The Denver Broncos finished the season leading the NFL in rushing.
it's not even a hot take. That's probably gonna happen.
I can see it. Yeah, I don't think it's a super hot take. I can see it. I think more of the hot take might be my opinion on Denver, and that's that they're going to finish below 500 and grossly underperform.
I, I, I
Please,
think like
please, for the love of God, let this happen. Please.
no,
I have
yeah,
no
because
faith in Denver.
our friend Dakota, he's a. I know we've talked about him a lot, but he is a huge Denver fan, and oh my God, ever since they've got Russell Wilson, he has been on his high horse,
Listen,
and he has not gotten off.
Denver has a great rushing attack. They have a good offensive line. Their receiver core is dog shit. Their tight end is
Thank
unproven.
you. Oh my God. Oh my
Their
God.
I'm gonna tell him
defense
to watch this podcast. I'm gonna
their
tell him.
defense
Mhm.
is solid, but it still has its issues. Their defense still needs help. Their linebacker core is abysmal. Bradley Chubb is their number one pass rusher right now, and that's not a good sign. They just traded
By the
away.
way, we
Who
were
was the
just
defensive tackle? Shelby Harris that they
yeah,
just traded away.
yeah.
Huge part of their defensive line. Huge blow there.
By the way, we
Th-
were just talking, and he called Bradley Chubb a top 10 linebacker. We were talking about this earlier today.
that's insanity. That is absolute insanity. The way
I'll
I
make
look at
sure.
it is
I'll make sure he sees this.
Yeah,
good. I mean, no disrespect, Dakota, but your team's not good. It is very overrated. That's coming from a Bears fan.
Whoa! All
Like,
right.
like I said, front seven, mediocre at best. Your number one. When it comes to having a number one edge rusher, you need a guy with that like alpha game wrecking mentality. Bradley Chubb's not it. Von Miller was it, but you traded Von, so now you're left with his
this
Robin.
is this
You
is
traded Batman, and now you have Robin.
this is what I said. If a guy himself can say he has been a bust, which is not what he said directly, but he said he has grossly underperformed where they pick him at.
Uh huh. Yes,
He said that
absolutely.
if a guy can say that himself, you know something's wrong.
And what do they have in their secondary other than Simmons and Sertan?
They have
Okay,
they
that's
have
exactly what
Kareem.
I'm saying.
They lost
He's always like
Callahan. They
Ronald
lost
Darby's so
Fuller.
fucking good. He's like
Ronald
Ronald
Darby is
Darby's so good.
mid. He's mid.
Exactly,
Now,
man.
one thing I will tell you, they have the ageless wonder that is named Kareem Jackson, who I actually think is really
Yeah.
good.
Another thing that Denver's not going to have this year that a lot of people are going to grossly underrate, but I can tell you right now as a Bears fan, it's something you need desperately. That's Vic Fangio. I don't know who their defensive coordinator is right now, but it's not Vic. You just lost one of the best one of the best defensive minds we've seen since the turn of the century. So
Mhm.
your defense is going to take a step back. You can't rely on the pass game because, yeah, Russ is great. I'm not trying to shit on Russ, but his weapons are way worse than what he had in Seattle. He doesn't have a true number one. Jerry Judy's a good route runner, but that's it. He's nothing else. Jerry Judy is a glorified Cole Beasley in my eyes. He's
What
not
about
that good.
what
Mm.
about Cortland?
Just lost Tim.
Denver's
Cortland
What
Sutton's fine. He's fine. He's not great. He's okay. And they just lost Tim Patrick for the season, tore his ACL.
I've seen
Uh,
some people say that Tim Patrick is arguably the best receiver on that team.
I would be one of those people. I fully believe Tim
okay.
Patrick's their best receiver. And then I don't know how to say his name. Alberto, their tight
Yeah.
end. Yeah,
I,
he's got good athletic traits. Hadn't proven anything. You need to see something out of him.
You hear
And Russ
this?
doesn't like his tight ends anyways. And above all else,
Den-
Denver doesn't have a fullback.
Denver's Denver
wait, they don't have Andrew Beck anymore?
Denver
Oh no, they do. I'm sorry, I forgot.
they
Andrew
have
Beck. Yeah, he plays that hybrid tight end fullback role.
All right,
Mostly a
so
tight end, but he is
Denver,
a fullback.
their defensive coordinator is Ijiro Ivero from England. He's from
He's coaching
England.
the wrong
Now hold
football.
on. Hold on. This is his first defensive coordinator role ever. His last role as a defensive coach was in 2021 for the Rams. He was the secondary and passing game coordinator. He was the secondary coach and the passing game
So
coordinator
he
for
got carried
LA.
by Jalen Ramsey.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, bro. Listen, your defensive
That's
coordinator is
that's like
coaching the
saying
wrong type
Bruce
of football.
Arians. That's like calling Bruce Arians a Super Bowl winning coach.
No, I just don't have a lot of faith in Denver. They don't have a better team than the Raiders. They definitely don't have a better team than the Chargers, and they most certainly do not have a better team than the Chiefs. All
He's
three of
from
those
England,
teams
by the
beat
way.
them out in every single aspect.
Okay. I know we really are trying to wrap this up soon. But
We're going on
um
3 hours almost.
yeah, we're trying to wrap this up soon. But I got two questions for David, and then I will get to Valente's last hot take, and then we'll do it. And you can plug Paul knows.
Okay.
Tell them what you got going on next.
All right.
Uh, one of my hot takes that I didn't put on here was the fact that I think Sky Moore can lead the Chiefs in receiving yards.
I I see where you're coming from, but I don't think anybody's gonna have more yards than Travis Kelsey on that team. At least not this year.
Okay. I'm gonna fix the question. I was talking about in the receiving room. Like if we're talking about
Okay, well then
receivers,
that's a different conversation. He doesn't have a whole lot of high level converse. It doesn't have a whole lot of high level comp.
because
So it's between him, Juju, and MVS. And I would say all around, pound for pound, he's the best receiver there. So I can see that. If we're talking about purely out of their pound for pound was the wrong word, okay, or the wrong phrase. But he is the best receiver on the team. That's my point. Talent wise, he's the best all around receiver. That's what I was looking for.
I don't know about
I
the whole Juju situation. I think he might be
think
a
Juju's. Yeah, I think he's going to be better for Kansas City, but I just think Sky Moore is that good. That's not a
no,
slight at Juju.
no. I was talking about the fact that like he has some like off the field stuff about like pissing off teammates.
Yeah,
Corvette.
that's just him being a goofy guy. You know, he likes his TikTok dances and whatnot. It is what it is.
And then you pair him
Uh,
with Jackson, bro. He's gonna be pissing off so many people.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Jackson and Brittany, like that is now the most toxic fan base ever.
yeah. But no, if we're talking just receivers, I can see Sky Moore. I can see it.
He's also a guy that I think would win Offensive Rookie of the Year given the
I
right
can see
scenario.
that as well. Like I said, my money right now would probably be on Brees Hall.
Or
Defensive. I'm still getting a little like stuck on this defensive coordinator sitch
Like I said, he's coaching the
Denver.
wrong football, man. He's
Yeah,
coaching football over in the
he should
UK.
be coaching football. Come on,
Yeah.
bro.
all right, but anyway, V, what's your last hot take? And then
Or rugby.
we're getting to
Now,
Dave.
this shouldn't be a hot take, bro, because I don't see how you can't put them there. The Saints are a playoff team, and I don't
Yeah.
want to say it because I don't want to, I don't want to stick to, the Saints or the Titans or even the Bears, but Saints are a fucking playoff team, man.
They're a playoff team. I got them winning
Put some
10 games.
respect on their name, bro.
Okay, okay, David, you'll say that, but just for a quick question.
I think they can win the division, okay? I think it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's really not.
I don't think it's impossible either. I'm not gonna
It's
say
not.
they're
It's
gonna
not
do
the
it, but
most
there's a little bit to
likely.
do it.
Like, it's not the most likely thing, but hey, if there's a, there's a look, I'm a betting guy. I like to cross state lines just to place a couple bets. Just saying, man, them odds don't look too shabby to me. I would take it in a heartbeat. I think it's very
I don't
possible.
think it's
Yeah.
impossible, but I think as long as Tom's in that division, you can't not bet against Tom Brady.
He won in 2020.
Yeah, that's my thing. I don't want to bet against Brady.
Okay, but
Hold on, I just want to point out, real quick, since we brought up the clip earlier, somebody made an edit on TikTok and tagged me in it. It's just Kyle Juszczyk stiff arming Minka Fitzpatrick.
But that's what I wanted to end off with, and I'm glad you brought it up again. But what gave your enthusiasm into fullbacks?
Well, I want to know your top 10 fullbacks as well.
That's coming
I was
out,
gonna
so
show on the
we
spot.
can't spoil that. We can't.
Yeah, I can't spoil that. I already set that as like, my
Okay.
10,000 follower celebration or whatever. I'm gonna not just my top 10 fullbacks. I'm gonna rank every fullback that I know of.
Fullback? Oh, I can't wait for that. I
Like
can't wait for that.
right now it's like top 32, but I gotta go back and double check and make sure I didn't miss anybody.
Tory
What do you
Carter,
what's your
Tory,
follow account at? I gotta
Tory.
follow you
Or
on TikTok.
football.
He just refollowed me today, and now it says we're friends on the thing. It's kind of like cool.
I mean, if you'd
What's
like, I can,
your follower count?
it's at like 9,100.
Damn, bro, I can't come quick enough. Shit.
No, the reason I love fullbacks so much, like I mentioned earlier, my dad played high school ball, and my school, historically at least, the new douchebag coach that I can't stand got rid of this, but they ran the wing T offense, which utilizes the fullback as your primary ball carrier. So
Wait,
my
hold
dad
up.
played.
Are you talking about like the offense that the Birmingham Stallions ran in the USFL? The
I
wing,
didn't watch a lot of Birmingham Stallions, if I'm being totally honest.
like it's one quarterback and then there's three backs in a line.
Hold on, let me double check.
No,
It's
that's
actually escaping
wishbone.
my brain.
That's
Yeah,
wishbone.
yeah.
That, never mind.
The wing T, it's you have your quarterback and then your fullbacks lined up behind the quarterback and your running backs offset fullback. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of built like
A
how
L.
when you do the T that's like that with when it has the tail. Some people do a T that has a tail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that. That's why they call it the wing T.
Kind of like the Ravens ran with Mark Ingram
A
and
little
Lamar
bit, yeah, a
and
little bit.
Patrick Ricard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is close to that. The exact definition, it says the wing T offense typically utilizes a fullback, a tailback, and on occasion a halfback, which is goofy because a tailback and a halfback are basically the same thing. Who will all either block off defenders or run up the center of the pitch. They just described how a run play works in that. That didn't actually give you any sort of definition. Um,
It's the formation.
basically the fullback is the primary ball carrier in this type of offense, at least the way they ran it at the high school. And my dad played fullback in the late 90s and was like a stud. And I don't want to sit here and brag about my dad's high school football accomplishments because I know that's cringy, but like some of my first exposure to watching football was my granddad pulling out old VHS tapes of my dad when he played football and showing them to me, and then my dad going back and showing them to me. Um, Watching that, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And it was just like my dad running over people and shit. And I was like, this position's really cool. And then when I first got into football, you had, oh my God, names are escaping me. Oh my God.
John
Mike
Kuhn,
Tolbert.
Anthony Sherman.
John Kuhn was one of them, yeah. Mike Tolbert was the name I was thinking of out of the Panthers. Marcel Reese of the Raiders. Oh God, God damn, I am slipping up. I should not be doing this. I am choking completely. John Kuhn, Marcel Reese, Mike Tolbert, Anthony Sherman, Peyton Hillis. I think he was kind of a fullback. He was kind of on the weird in
Larry
between.
Csonka.
Nah.
I mean, Zonka was a little bit before my time, but I do love Zonka. But yeah,
Damn.
those were the guys. They were in the league when I was first getting into football, and these guys were Michael Burton, even who's still around.
Cuz said
Young,
Larry
Michael Burton.
Zonka.
I love Michael Burton, man.
yeah,
Such a nice dude.
young goat Kyle Juszczyk back when he was on the Ravens. That
When,
was like when I.
when he was on the Ravens, that's when the term Kyle Juszczyk was first introduced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because
He went to Harvard. Fun fact: he's a Harvard graduate and plays fullback.
you mean he went to tight end university with Anthony Ferkser?
He played tight end at Harvard.
Tight
He's
end
more than the
university.
fullback. He was a two-time All Ivy League first-team tight end at Harvard, and then he got drafted by the Ravens late,
James
converted to
Devlin. I
fullback.
think that might be who you're thinking
James
about earlier.
Devlin. I
Devlin
was
played for
trying
the
to say Mike
Pats.
Tolbert, but I couldn't remember Tolbert's first name because I almost said Jalen Tolbert, and I would have sounded like an idiot. No, Mike Tolbert. He was the short, fat fullback that played for the Panthers that danced all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love Mike Tolbert. I
He
forgot
also
his
he
first name
played
for
for
a
the
moment.
Chargers. I think he might have got drafted by the Chargers. I might be
Yeah,
wrong.
he did for a little bit. He played for the Chargers, but either way, it's just when I first got into football, I was surrounded by fullbacks. My dad played fullback. My first exposure was to fullbacks. There were a ton of great fullbacks in the NFL at the time, and I feel like the fullback, along with like linebackers, embody the sport of football better than any other position
I,
because
ca-
they're
I
just.
oh, I was gonna say I can see that because like when I first got in and first became like a Titans fan, like the reason I love the cornerback position so much is because the best two players on the Titans when I first started watching were Adam Pac-Man Jones and Cortland Finnegan. Like that was
Well, the best two players on the Bears when I started watching were Urlacher and Briggs, which is why linebacker's a very, very close second for me in terms of favorite position. Um, but yeah, it was just so much. It was just all over the place for me when I first got into football, and then like I said, it perfectly embodies the game because it's a gritty, tough nose, smash mouth type of position, contact every single play, very unselfish, setting up your teammates for greatness, that type of thing.
Or
Um,
good old American football.
Exactly. Like when you think football, you think dudes running into each other and beating each other up, and that's what the fullback position is. So this off season, when I was making TikToks, there was not a lot to post about, and I was like, well, I like fullbacks. Let's just do that. So I started making jokes about like Kyle Juszczyk, right? Very surface level stuff. And then eventually I was like, you know what? What if I just do this? What like everyone has like their shtick, right? All the big TikTokers, they have their shtick. Why don't I make fullbacks mine? Because nobody's out here talking about fullbacks. Nobody's out here giving fullbacks credit, giving them praise. So I sat down, I did the research. I started, for lack of better words, watching tape on fullbacks. I would go back and use the fucking NFL Game Pass and watch all 22 footage on Kyle Juszczyk, Nick Bellore, Pat Ricard, Alec Ingold, CJ Ham, Kari Blasingame, anyone you can think of, I've watched them. And it became my thing, and now I'm just the fullback guys. One of my followers described me very early on into the process, the fullback fiend, and I think that's like the coolest nickname ever. That's the one I've taken.
I
I
can't
put that
wait
in my
That
bio and
because
everything.
I thought when you first put out the thing that you were ranking all the fullbacks, I was like, it's gonna be hard to rank guys like Torrey because like guys like Torrey that are gonna be a starter now.
They say where
That
I got Tori. Full
you want to
honesty, you want to know where I got Tori?
probably like low
11.
20, 30 because he 11.
11. Yes.
11?
I love Tori Carter.
I put this out
What?
here. I put this
Is
out here,
a
V, because
demon.
I think for me personally that he outperformed Kyrie last year. I'm not saying he's better
There's
than
a
Kyrie.
reason Kari didn't get a contract. I'm going to put it that way. I've got Kari in the top 10, outside the
But
top 5.
and
But there's a reason the Titans, who are a team that uses a fullback heavily because of their running back, because of the way they run, there's a reason they did not emphasize bringing him back. It's because Torrey Carter is that fucking guy.
and also I want to put this out there.
In the feet.
I don't think this is why he didn't get re-signed. But Kyrie dropped a wide open touchdown pass against the Cincinnati Bengals that absolutely killed me. Like
It happens, man.
I'm not saying we would have won the game because Ryan shouldn't have thrown the 3 interceptions. But
I
You know,
lied. I lied. I have Torrey at 10, but I had him at 11. I
oh
have him at
shit.
10. There was a little bit of a fight going on at 10 and 11, and I was looking at my rankings and I put Torrey at 10. So fringe top 10 fullback. Put it that way. I got
Question:
Kari at 6.
Where do
and
you got
the thing is cuz it's 1 year in. Imagine in like 2-3 years when he's in his prime.
Listen, I'm not against ranking young guys high. I already have Micah Parsons as a top 3 linebacker. I've got
I
Jamar
don't think
Chase as a
that's
top
crazy.
5 receiver. Like, young guys deserve their roses. I got Pitts as a top 5 tight end. What were you gonna say?
You said
where do you got Adam Prentice?
Adam Prentice, 20.
Fair. He only had 5 yards last year. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a numbers guy, but I mean,
and also
He's fine.
Torrey
fine.
Card.
Like I've got it split into tiers. Here, I'll read off the tiers to you. So I just have Juszczyk in his own tier because Juszczyk. 2 to 6 is elite. 7 to 9 is franchise fullback. 10 to 16 is a mix. It's young studs and special teams demons. So your guys like Jason Kabinda, Nick Bellore, who are mostly special teams guys, but still do some work on offense. 17 to 20 is above average. So you've got Prentice still above average. 26
Wrong
to
with that. I
31.
mean, I ain't seen shit from him, but
26 to 31 is below average. And then 32, with the last guy I've ranked, is in a tier of his own because he is dog shit. That is Alex Arma of the Washington Commanders.
huh.
There's
I was about to ask where Alex Arma is because I love him because
I'm
not
sorry,
because of
he's not
how good of
good.
a player he is, because of like the man literally stopped an armed robber with an arm bar. He armed bar a burglar
It's
who
not
had a
gonna move up
gun.
in my rankings. Uh,
So
that's awesome,
you
but
can look
as a
this up.
fullback, he's not super impressive.
You can look this up. You can fact check me on this, but
Here,
he literally arm barred someone who was
here.
armed.
I'll do this for you, just real quick while we're sitting here. If you guys can name 3 fullbacks, I'll tell you where I have them ranked. Can't be any of the ones we've already
Okay,
mentioned.
okay.
Michael Burton.
Michael Burton, 8.
Yeah.
8.
Ooh. Okay.
Just because I'm not gonna do this
Three
for you,
Patrick
because
fullbacks
Ricard.
between you. 3 between you, by the way, not 3 individually. Ricard number 2, easy.
I'm not gonna do this. I would say this, but I also figure you have a big Bears following, so I'm not gonna do Kyrie. But then again,
I
the
already told
chance.
you I had him at 6.
He already told him. Yeah, he already told you.
I used to have Kari in my top
Um,
5, but then somebody came to my attention and bumped him out,
I'm just going to
unfortunately.
depth chart real quick. Jeremiah
Jeremiah
Hall.
Hall, the UDFA out of, Oklahoma, I believe. I've got him at 26.
Yep. Okay. I'm just looking
Just
at random
until
depth
I
chart
see
just to get a
anything out of him. Just until I see something out of him, because I think Jeremiah Hall can be an absolute stud.
No, I'm genuinely,
Yeah.
because that's like, you want to know who Torrey reminds me of, and it's kind of a crazy comparison. James Devlin for the New England Patriots.
I see it.
J-
I
it-
absolutely see it.
and it might just be the neck roll because it's a physical thing. It might just
Yeah.
be that, but it's the body type too. The eye black, like cuz is a dog, and the thing is I can't wait for him to be on Bussin' with the Boys because I already can tell that would be something Torrey would do. Is he's like the Taylor Lewan type for the boys guy. I can already see that.
With Torrey Carter, just
Or
to
the
give you a quick
team.
analysis of him, I absolutely love what I've seen out of him. It wouldn't be ball carrier vision because he's not a ball carrier primarily, but like his blocking vision, I guess is how you'd put it, the way he sees the defense. It's really incredible. Like he's always finding somebody to hit. Always. No matter what, he is hitting somebody that is making a big impact on the play. He's a great lead blocker. He's got a little bit of quickness to him. He's really strong. He's a hard hitter. Like I was really, really impressed. Granted, he didn't play many games last year, right? I don't know how many
No,
games he played
he
offhand.
beat if I'm not wrong, he beat out Kyrie through the midseason. Like they weren't using
Wasn't
Kyrie.
Kari also hurt?
That might have been what it was. Actually,
Pretty sure Kari was hurt.
that might have been what it was.
Like, I don't think Tori's better than Kari by any means, but
No, I'm
I
not.
mean, there's a reason the Titans kept Tori and let Kari walk.
I think it's a mix of Torrey being younger and they would have had to pay him less, and they didn't see the gap being too far.
That third point is kind of my point. The gap isn't big between the two, and he's younger and cheaper. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure Kari did get hurt at some point, and Tori stepped in. But my point is, he didn't play long, but what I saw out of him was enough for me to say he's a top 10 fullback because the guys I have right behind him, like the next two guys, are both big special teams guys, 11 and 12. And then after that, it's kind of a tight end hybrid guy, a rookie, uh, another special teams guy, another special teams guy. I've even got a free agent in the top 20. I absolutely love. He actually follows me on Twitter. I'm not going to say who.
The thing with Torrey.
Your Twitter followers right now.
Go ahead. You'll find him pretty quickly. He followed me recently.
The thing with Torrey is like when he was in the game, I think like having Torrey and Kari on the same team, I think played detrimental to the team, and I'll explain. Because when Kyrie was in the game, you almost 100% knew it was going to be some form of play action pass. Because when I believe that the Titans thought that Torrey was a better blocking fullback.
I agree with that 100%. That's kind of why I have Kari so high, is just because of his ability as a playmaker on top of his blocking. Like, I mean, I know this is preseason, but we saw it in the preseason game against Chicago last year where Kari tore us up for like a 40, 50-yard screen pass. Like, he's probably the fastest fullback in football. He's a top 3 receiving fullback in football. His hands are solid.
He reminds me
He's a
so
good
much
route
of
runner for a
Marcel
fullback.
Reese. He's so
I see that. Um, I mean, Kari's not a bad blocker by any means, but Tori is very clearly better. It's just that Tori doesn't necessarily provide the playmaking ability that Kari does.
And also, which our backup situation is kind of weird because we have Dontrell too, who's kind of like the go-to catch the ball guy. Yeah. It's going to be weird how this season's used, but yeah,
somebody wanted something, but yeah, I agree completely. I was listening.
It's going to be weird how we use this season because we've got 3 guys with Derek being the absolute starter. There's no. But then you got Hassan, you got Julius Chestnut, who's basically Hassan, but like they didn't draft him. And then you got Dontrell, who's going to be the guy we use in passing downs, unless they try to get Hassan, because Hassan actually wasn't bad at Michigan with the pass.
Yeah.
So, but if you're ready, we can go ahead and wrap it up, and you can plug your stuff, and then we can get.
All right. I mean, so you can follow me on TikTok at MillerFootball_. Same on Twitter. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me there. YouTube, it's the Ball Knower Podcast, Sports and More. We're posting by like every other day right now for these team previews, but it's going to slow down to about once, maybe twice a week. Once this all finishes up, we should have the team previews posted by August 19th. So if you're interested in watching any of those, most of them are up. We've got like 2 divisions left, I think. Yeah, 2 divisions. So definitely make sure to check those out.
And I'll make it easier for you guys. All that stuff will be in the description. I'll have the link to the Titans video. I'll have the link to his channel overall, and then I'll have the
TikTok and Twitter.
The TikTok and Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, see, because that's I say that every episode when I let people plug theirs at the end of the team preview series. Nobody wants to go out of their way to type anything. So if you put the links in the description, they'll actually go and look. So it makes it a lot easier.
And also, I'm gonna try to remember and not forget to put the suicide like the help link.
Yeah,
because we talked about some deep stuff like emotional wise.
Yeah.
But and I know it's not a cool thing to talk not a cool thing to talk about with like guys, but it needs to be normalized that guys can talk about how they feel sometimes.
Hey, listen. Real quick, dude, talk about your fucking mental health. Fuck what society says. Fuck what your peers say. If you're a dude and you're struggling, reach out to people. Talk to people. Go to a therapist, for God's sake. There's nothing wrong with talking about your mental health as a man. And to give you examples, there are plenty of NFL players that do it. Ryan Tannehill this offseason, he came forward after one of the worst performances of his career, talked about being in a very dark place and having to get people to help him. David Montgomery, star running back for the Chicago Bears, he just talked about in a press conference how he just overcame a very dark period in his life. And I love when athletes do that because it shows not only are they better, but it's setting a good example for the youth. Because as men, we are taught that our emotions are just kind of meant to be held in, right? We're not supposed to express them, but that's bullshit. If you're a man and you're struggling,
yeah, the UFC fighter Patty
said,
after
I'd rather my mate cry on my shoulder than me go to his funeral next week.
Yeah,
it's true.
Very true. That's actually a perfect way to put it.
But like when Ryan did that, I didn't expect like him to be the type of person to do that. Like Ryan being from like a small town in Texas, you don't expect like former military guy like Cuz was going to become a military officer. Like you don't expect Ryan to be the type of guy to do. And
this has by far been like my favorite podcast episode, by the way.
We only got 3 out, right?
Well, see, it's kind of
Yeah,
weird
but
because we
I
got
think nothing's gonna top this. Okay.
well,
I
yeah,
don't think so.
we're gonna have David back on in a couple of in like
Oh,
40
I
episodes.
Maybe
can't
that'll
top
top
this,
it, but
unfortunately. This is my peak.
like,
This is the best content I'll ever put out. It's not even my content. I have peaked.
I swear to God, this is probably the best thing that we'll ever put out. And
Y'all, listen, y'all
I
gotta
hope
stop
I'm
gassing
wrong.
me up. I'm not the shit like y'all are acting like I am.
No,
Yeah, but like,
no, for real,
look, bro.
David, this ain't even a joke. We actually, for real, genuinely do like your content
I appreciate
Yeah,
that. Thank you.
because it feels like I don't want to say this, but like when you start following guys that have like bigger TikTok following, not saying you have a bad TikTok following, but like when you start following guys that have like massive YouTube or TikTok followings, people don't feel genuine anymore.
Yeah.
Like you don't know if they're genuine. Like for example, you don't know if somebody's saying a take because they genuinely believe it or they know it's going to get a lot of likes. And
Oh, yeah.
generate a lot of buzz.
even like me, I've had that thought in my head where I was like, should I post this video saying that I think this, and even though I don't think it
Tails
because I know
calling
it's, it's not even like that because, but like y'all get what I'm saying, Mike.
Yeah.
And not saying that you have, David, but I'm pretty sure the thoughts crossed your mind before. Like everybody would. It would be crazy if somebody didn't think it. You know.
I mean, look, I'll tell you right now, like I mentioned earlier, I did that hot take series. Uh, let me here. I don't want to sound disingenuous by saying this, but like I did that because I knew it would stir people up. Like that's the point of a hot take, right? Like it was
Mm-hmm.
stuff I genuinely
Yep.
believed. I wasn't pulling shit out of my ass just to say it. But I knew that if I call Kyle Juszczyk a top 20 most valuable non-skill position player, people are going to be like, well, actually, he's a fullback, so you're wrong, or he's a fullback, or you out of your mind. Like I knew that was coming, but I don't care. Like I'll say shit that I find controversial. Yeah, it'll help me in views, but it's not disingenuous. I'm not pulling it out of my ass. I mean it. So I get what you're saying.
Do you think 'cause this is something we're gonna I'm gonna start doing at least this Thursday, but do you think you'll see any like team preview series coming from you? Not team previews, Jesus. Like watching a game and talking about the game while it's going on.
Live reaction.
Live
I actually
reaction.
did do that on TikTok last year for most of the Bears games. It was very sporadic. I would post like 12 videos of me just. I wouldn't even have like the play on the camera. I would just reference the play. And like people who were watching the Bears fan, because most of my first followers were Bears fans, because that's what I started out doing was just Bears content, and then I branched out. But all the Bears fans would be like, yeah, they'd agree with me, and then other people would be like, what fucking play are you talking about? But I'm definitely going to try to do some reacting to games. I've got a couple guys that I'm friends with. They're got a podcast called Breaking Down the Tape. They're doing oh goodness, they're doing a series. They're having guests on for every single game, and I'm going to go on there for the Bears Commanders Thursday night game with them and live react to the game and probably curse and cry and swear up
Speaking
and
of
down that Justin Fields is the second coming.
speaking of that, I'm supposed to be I know you probably won't know who this is because he's not a big YouTuber, but he's a like pretty good size in like the Titan community. But I'm going on Titans Upload Network. He's got like 10, 15K sometime this season. We haven't really worked all that
Cool,
out, but
cool.
but um I might send him a Twitter message, try to have him on here so we can talk more Titans, and then Valente can be quiet more because Valente being quiet's
Yeah.
always going to be a good
I'll just
thing.
be sitting off to the side, twiddling my dick,
Fill your foot.
Oh, okay.
I'll be stubbing my toe.
You could just like put your. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not wearing socks. But you can just like put your foot up to the camera and have your face off to the side on your phone.
Yeah.
Like your foot is the stand-in for you since you have your camera off.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna end here soon, but I got one last thing I gotta say. I see the pop
Okay.
finals over there. I've been trying to collect them, bro, but
Oh my god, my collection's ridiculous. It's. I like collecting things. I'm a big collector. I collect jerseys. I collect shoes. I collect pop figures. I also collect other figures. You can see them up above me, and then there's some over there too. If I can point. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. There they are on that top shelf. They're called starting lineups. They were old football figures from like the 90s and 80s. And then I have old McFarlane toys too. So I'm a big collector. My Funko Pop collection is like over 50. It's excessive. It's bad.
I told Valente, I'm gonna try, and I'm willing to spend like not too much money, but a decent amount of money to try to get something NFL like memorabilia wise from pre NFL merger.
That's cool.
I really want something, whether it be like a ball that's hella deflated or something, but something that's from like pre NFL merger. I think that would be cool, or even something from the AFL because that's where the Titans originally originated from.
Yeah. My next big thing, I'm probably gonna have to not relate, default to a lot of like bootlegs. I don't care because they're not going to be super important to me, but I want to get one jersey from nearly every team. So when I do my team preview series next year, I can wear a jersey for each team, and obviously they're all going to be former fullbacks and whatnot. Um, but I am probably going to have to default to getting bootleg jerseys because Lord knows I'm not paying. It would be what, like 31,000 or $3,100. Spend $100 each on a jersey.
And then you got to worry about if some teams don't have the jerseys for the player because they're older
Right.
player. Like that's what
Yeah,
I
I'm
was,
gonna. Go ahead.
but that's what I was about to say is like I think the Titans video. I think we said Jalston Fowler for
Jameson Fowler, yeah.
the one that used to play for Tennessee and he played at Alabama with Derek and all them.
It's either gonna be him or Torrey Carter. That we recorded that before I was on the Torrey Carter hype train. I'm really coming around on Torrey Carter.
Alabama's running back room.
Run
God damn, man.
Alabama's running back room was crazy. Jalston Fowler, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, and then they had another guy too, if I'm not
TJ
mistaken.
Yeldon.
TJ Yeldon. That fucking room, dude.
Ah, that's a name. I haven't heard the name TJ Yeldon in forever.
You won't ever again.
Probably not.
You'll hear Logan Woodside though.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
As long
I hear
as you know
Logan
him, you'll
Woodside
hear
in my
Logan Woodside.
dreams.
No, I'm still waiting for the hype video.
It's not coming out.
Wait.
There's nothing to do. Well, okay. How about this? I'll make it right now. We're still on podcast. I'll fucking pull up the fake punt that motherfucker that he threw to Nick Westbrook. And that'll be the whole hype video. 4 seconds.
W. It's a W right
Like,
there.
what's the song gonna be?
Make it something that shouldn't go in a hype video. Do like Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner.
No, this was
Sweet Home. It just ends right there.
yeah, it won't be like it's like a 4 second clip. I was gonna do the it's I should do that and just
No, it should be. You know the fucking what's it called? Batman on drugs or whatever.
RV. It's dark outside. The temperature's rising.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh god. Put one of Matthew's diss tracks in there.
Oh my god. Okay.
Anyway,
Shit. I really wrap this up, bro. So I'm tired.
yeah.
I was gonna say I got a TikTok I gotta go make and post. That'll take me about 2 minutes.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode 3 of the Bye Week podcast. Realistically, being that it's 3 hours, what we might do is we might cut this into 2 different parts and upload it twice, like for the next 2 weeks. So David's gonna be in the next 2 podcasts. Well, that might be what we do. That way, I don't have to sit here all night waiting for this shit to render.
Valid.
So that might be what we do.
Make sure you make yourself like a part 1 segue video, segue clip. Just cut it off randomly and expect people to realize there's going to be a part 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I am I'll work that. You'll have that clip by tomorrow. I might post that on my TikTok too if you don't mind.
Take your time with it, yeah.
Of you going off on Mitchell Trubisky. Cuz I think your fans will like it and I think it'll be cool.
Yeah.
But all right. I almost just hit disconnect from the party before I ended the clip.